This is a video companion piece to an article I wrote. The article is in the description. If you want to read that, go ahead. If you don't want to read, I want to go over what I found on Twitter yesterday. And I saw a post that says, all the lying by Democrats about the VA not being able to provide services just got proven to be lies. So I wanted to dig into that. Now, if you're not familiar with the VA has three main branches. And the two we're going to really focus on are the VBA, which is the Veterans Benefits Administration. And these are the paperwork people. These are the people that approve your benefits and process your disability claims, among with a lot of other things. And then you have the Veterans Health Administration, which is the healthcare side of the house. Now, what you're seeing is claiming that the VBA, the paperwork pushers, are going to do more disability claims, clear out the backlog, and that's great. And I want to celebrate that. The problem is the Democrats are saying veterans aren't able to get medical services. To give you a visual, the Democrats are saying the veteran couldn't get a taco because Taco Bell is closed. And the Republicans are coming out of McDonald's saying, here's an Egg McMuffin, and you're lying. The Egg McMuffin is great. My disability claim being finished and entitling me to services is amazing, and we need to have that. But when I can get my benefits, when I go across the street to the hospital, but the hospital doesn't have a doctor for me, it didn't fix my problem. Yes, I needed that disability claim. I needed that approval, but I also need a companion matching doctor that I can go to. So then instead of turning this into a let's celebrate the good, I had to dig into the what are you actually claiming? And what I saw is that, yes, the VBA, the paperwork side of the house, has cleared the backlog of disability claims by 74,000. They have reduced the amount of time it takes to process a claim to 131.8 days. And they're celebrating that they're getting close to their target goal of 125 days. A target goal of 125 days to process a claim? When you control the whole process, you control the medical appointment. If it takes you 131.8 days, doesn't that say something about how backlogged the medical service side of the house is? Social Security, on the other hand, has a target goal of 37 days or 43 days, depending on the claim type. Now, the facts are pretty clear, and I want to give them credit for clearing out the backlog. But I think either party breaking their arm, patting themselves on the back for getting the average down to 131.8 days is absurd. So at this point, if I haven't made it clear, the Republican Party has failed the veterans. The Democratic Party has failed the veterans. Both political parties have failed the veterans, so stop weaponizing the veterans for your political gain. The length of time that it takes is very important because we have 32,882 veterans living on the street, and a lot of them are caught up in a process of, I can't get my benefits because I don't have a permanent address, but I can't get a permanent address because I don't have the benefits I'm entitled to. So just so we're clear, I'm not beating up the Republican Party for Democrat points, and I'm not beating up the Democrat Party for Republican points. Good job on clearing out the backlog. Good job on shaving 10 days off the process. Now get right back to work because more is needed and we need to get our goals in alignment. Now, over the last 10 years, we've seen massive improvements for the veterans, and I don't want to diminish that. The majority of active duty military members have their VA rating before they leave the service, and this is amazing. Because what this means is there is no gap between their last active duty paycheck and their first VA paycheck. And that's amazing. However, we got a lot of work to do. Now, my big problem is I will celebrate the VBA. I will celebrate the paper pushers, but it has zero impact on the effectiveness of the medical care. If you ask Google, if you ask ChatGPT, if you read the GAO, if you read the OIG, the Office of the Inspector General, you're going to get a bunch of figures that are going to make your head swing back and forth. So let's just dig out some of the things people are going to hit me with. The VA currently employs 26,000 physicians, and if you look at their website, they have 1,106 vacancies. meaning they have a 95.7% fill rate, but they don't. If they did, that would be amazing. The VA is reporting a 14% vacancy rate, so 4,233 vacancies, which means only 6 out of 7 vacancies are filled. Now, at this point, somebody's going to hit me with, well, in the civilian world, yes, I get it, but I don't care about the civilian world. I care about fixing the fact that the VA Health Administration has a 14% vacancy rate. The other problem is if you look at it, 94% of VA facilities are reporting a shortage for a medical officer. That's a doctor. And 79% are reporting a shortage for a nurse. And if we drill down deeper into that, we will find some facilities that are saying we have a vacancy, 1 of 2 doctors. Now, why is that a big deal? That is a big deal because a doctor has an empanelment. A doctor has X number of appointments a day. Some of those are for new patients. Some of those are for one-off patients. And then some of those are for the continuity of care where they're going to see me as a veteran. They're going to see me. They're going to be my doctor. Well, when that doctor leaves, that empanelment, the top piece, the regular patients lose their doctor. Now, there are going to be people who hit me with the VA Mission Act. And I think the VA Mission Act on paper was amazing. And what it says is that if you can't get a PCM appointment, a primary care manager, or a mental health appointment at a VA facility within 20 days, or if specialty care, pulmonary cardiology, neurology, is more than 28 days, the veteran can go on to the community to get a provider. And as long as they use an in-network provider from the CCN, the Community Care Network, 100% of that bill is covered. The problem is, this doesn't fix the problem because somebody is going to inevitably, and they would be right, they are going to say, well, are you aware that the VA has a shorter wait time than the local community? And yes, if you take a national average, I'm not going to dispute that fact. I'll concede it. That is correct. So I try to make an appointment with the VA. It gets bumped or rescheduled because of a shortage or a departure. Now I've got to go on the local community and wait again. And what I'm doing is I'm as a veteran who should be cared for by the VA system, have entered into the local economy and made the local economy 1 patient wait time longer. So yes, of course, when people are accessing the CCN, they're making the local economy numbers longer, which is making the VA wait time shorter because you offloaded a patient. The most effective data that we have right now is that we are still losing on average 17 U.S. veterans a day to suicide. Even though the VA Mission Act was bipartisan and was heralded as a success, it didn't get the veterans better mental care. It didn't get them faster medical care. It just said, you have this option, which, by the way, many veterans that I talk to will call the VA and they'll get an appointment for like 16 or 18 days from now. And then in 14 days from now, they get a call that they have to actually bump that appointment out. And what they're trying to do is keep you trapped in the VA system because they don't want to offload the patient, which offloads the money. So just because we have these things that sound really good, if you're not a veteran and you've never had to go through that process, please listen to a veteran when they tell you how bad it is. Now, the biggest problem here is both sides are trying to weaponize the VA, and they're trying to use the veterans. They want to take their successes and say, we do it great, and the other side is the problem. You're both the problem. You're both the problem, and stop putting the veterans in the middle. I am more than willing to tip my hat and say good job to the Republicans and say, you did a really good job. Keep going in that direction. I'm really happy to say to the Democrats back in 2018, thank you for working with the Republicans to get a bipartisan act. But we have to meet in the center of the ring for a discussion, not a fight, when it comes to a lot of issues, and veterans are one of them. If we're going to waste all this energy fighting, then can we just please apply that energy to fixing the problem?